Hey everyone, Yarley's more excited about life younger brother here. Any of you guys watch football? I know that this isn't really a sports channel, but there's this thing that'll happen sometimes in football where the player lets go of the ball just before they actually reach the goal line and they ruin everything. I bring this up because I started making this video at 499 subscribers and I've actually lost a couple since then. Oops. So what is this video? Well, since I don't make videos just for the sake of hearing myself talk, because I'm the one who has to master my audio, I'm going to use this and any other milestone videos as an opportunity for complete transparency. This video is going to be split into 3 sections. Firstly, the one that I suspect the majority of you are here for. I'm going to make a couple of corrections to previous videos. Secondly, I'm going to go over the projects that have been happening, both the ones that actually made it to release and the ones that are dead. Then I'm going to end by talking about what I'm currently working on and intend to release at some point. So without further ado, let's talk mistakes. Since I already addressed most of the mistakes that were in my first Persona video in my second video, and there's no point in me critiquing fan compilations or a video of me playing Phasmophobia with my friends, the only video we're really here to talk about is that second Persona video. Now, when it comes to that video, there are 2 big glaring issues. One of which is me being genuinely wrong about something I should have known better on, and the second is me leaving something in that I shouldn't have. First, the mistake. In my video, I said, firstly and least importantly is whether or not the player is able to retry battles from the start of the battle. This is wrong, and I have no excuse for why I said it. At this point, I had never died with the retries and battle stat set to on, so I didn't actually know what it did when you died. It doesn't start you at the beginning of the battle, it just outright full restores your party when you die. So in a way, all of that Kaiwan work was pointless. So yeah, genuine mistake on my part where I thought something worked one way but it didn't, and I shouldn't have said what it did without knowing what it did. Shout out to Ruby Orpheus being the first person to point this one out. Funny story about that. I don't have footage of this, but I actually learned that I was wrong literally a day or 2 before Ruby Orpheus commented. I was grinding on the save file for the video. Here's the progress, by the way. No promise that I'll make a follow-up, and I decided to try the Reaper, figuring I could just run away or restart the floor if it was impossible. Turns out that to play the game on very easy, you basically only need the triangle button, and you can just auto-win everything. Which means the definitive answer to any challenge run for 4 Golden is, yeah, if you're on very easy. So, the other mistake. The one that way more people got on my case about. While I agree that it isn't a glitch in the same way that a wrong warp or item duplication is, it's important to understand that glitch is an inherently semantic term. Oh boy, did I get a lot of responses about this. I regret leaving this section in looking back, because it didn't really serve any purpose to the video, and my extremely brief brush over a fairly complex topic was never going to go over well. Legit, I could make a video of my top gaming hot takes and unpopular opinions or some shit like that, and I might still get less pushback than I did for this one line in my video. I actually considered making a follow-up where I addressed this in more detail and explained it, but it never really came to pass because it was always going to be fairly derivative of a video by the channel EZScape. While I'm going to link it below and you should definitely watch it, here's sort of the gist of what my argument would be.
But what if we expand on those definitions and consider instances where a game mechanic is working as intended, but instead produces an unintended result? For instance, damage boosting. In most video games, when you take damage, you get some sort of invincibility and a recoil effect pushing you away. These side effects can sometimes make taking damage a useful technique for increasing speed. If you were to jump the gap in Jabu's belly while holding a bomb and allow it to explode while crossing, it's actually possible that the damage you take will allow you to reach the other side. But since this is an instance of a game mechanic working as intended, which is a bomb dealing damage and knockback after it explodes, but gives an unintended result, which is landing on the other side of the gap, do we consider it a glitch or normal play?
So when I say glitch is a semantic word, that's generally what I mean. Now, I think the reaction is equal parts my speaking poorly and people misunderstanding me. When I say most people will call it a glitch, that's bad on me. No excuses. I phrased thing bad. I deserve the roasting. That said, it's okay. You can stop telling me it's not a glitch. Almost everyone else already has. If you look below the video and you see a comment saying the thing that you're gonna say, you don't need to leave the comment. That's why I'm saying if I were to make the video again, I would just cut out the section. I went semi-off script and all it really did was make the video a headache. And now I'm here complaining about it, and you're listening to it. The cycle of violence. So other than those two things, I think that's all I have to say about that particular video. There are like one or two small editing errors, but that aside, I made it to correct mistakes, and it itself is riddled with mistakes. I would like to say thank you and shoutouts to YourBudTevin for being a great sport about things. As always, I just have to shout out people who have this whole YouTube thing figured out better than I do, which is most of them. Okay, so second topic. What have I been doing between that video and now? So between then and now, I have tried and failed to make 3 different follow-ups to that particular video. No, none of them are level 255 in Shinjuku Medical Center and Nocturne. It's literally just a matter of how many hours it would take. There are 2 free infinite full restores. Anybody who thinks that would be a challenge in anything but the time it would take doesn't know Nocturne very well, or they're just suggesting it because they want to impose a challenge on me that would take the rest of my natural life and most of my unnatural life. So, the first failed follow-up. I considered doing a direct follow-up addressing my pair of errors, but I figured that would be best saved for when I had another proper video to attach them to, which I guess is this. That never really got past the idea stage though, so I don't have a script or any footage to show for it. Secondly, I have the aforementioned video talking about what a glitch is and isn't for reasons mentioned previously. That also never made it past the idea stage. So finally, let's talk about the one that I actually got some work into before abandoning it. Any fans of the great channel JRose11 will know the concept of a least possible battles run for Pokemon. I wanted to do a video exploring that same thing but for Persona 4. I wanted to do a video exploring that same thing but for Persona 4. That's a hard sentence to say. I did one stream where I got through Yukiko's castle and like a page of notes and half a page of script done before I completely lost interest. Hey guys, future absolute fucking dickhead idiot here. I was supposed to have stream footage of this thing that I'm talking about, but apparently I fucking deleted it. Now, before I talk about why I lost interest in the data that I did get, I would like to preface with this. If this video sounds interesting to you and you want to see it through, you have my complete blessing not only to go make it, but you can feel free to use any or all of the data and info that I'm about to give you. I'm not asking for a credit or anything. I want this video to exist, and if this idea interests you, please birth it into the world as malformed and ugly as it may be. So, would a Persona 4 Golden minimum battles run be possible? If so, how many battles would it take? Well, as previously mentioned, any challenge run is technically possible on very easy or any custom difficulty with retry battles on. If it isn't, it would be difficult, but I do believe it would be possible. For an any % run of Persona 4 Golden, unless I'm missing something, the player has 26 required fights. That's all of the required bosses and mini-bosses, as well as the intro fight in Yu's Dream. Now, it's possible I'm 1 or 2 off here because of some unlock condition I haven't considered. I did not get very far into this run. But as far as I can tell, this info is accurate. For a 100% run, you add all of the optional bosses and Margaret onto that, and you get what I'm pretty sure is 33. 34 if you would refight the tutorial dream fight on New Game Plus. I genuinely don't remember. I genuinely don't feel it's worth checking out. However, it would actually be closer to 35 either way is the thing. Here's the problem with this run. While you can, in theory, just run away from any random shadows you can find, it is, and I'm like 90% sure of this, but I could potentially be wrong on some technicality, physically impossible to get a second persona from a boss or a mini-boss. Shuffle time doesn't happen after boss fights or mini-boss fights. I don't know why. If I had to guess, it might be something with dialogue scripting. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. I have tried every possible thing that increases the chance of shuffle time. I have beaten the Avenger Knight with a critical. I have beaten the Avenger Knight with an all-out attack. I have beaten the Avenger Knight with a party member follow-up. You cannot, and I say this with near certainty, get a shuffle time from the Avenger Knight mini-boss fight at the very least, and I would say with confidence from any other mini-boss and boss fight in the game. The thing is, the player would need at least one shuffle time and to get at least one persona card to be able to fuse. The good news is that it doesn't matter what you get. With a single pair of cards as your starting point, you can literally fuse the entire compendium. The problem is that you need to do at least one non-required battle to get a card. If this is different in 4 vanilla, I have no idea, and I have no intention of checking. Now, if you're smart about it, you'll make it so that your one non-boss fight you do is a wealth hand. But other than that, it doesn't matter where or when you do this first non-required fight. I would recommend doing it as soon as possible because most of the social links in the game do require Persona to advance beyond a certain point. I lost interest in making this video for 2 big reasons. Firstly, it's a lot of work. And if you couldn't tell by my joke of an upload schedule, I do actually have other responsibilities. Secondly, because the playstyle it requires you to adapt to is one that I find absolutely miserably unfun. I like grinding in these games. I do it too much. Playing constantly underpowered and having to ration your money might be fun for you. I have no issue with that. If that's fun for you, live your life. But I have way too much of an obsessive completionist streak. The one session I did felt like I was playing the game wrong. So if this concept interests you and you want to make this video, please do. Message it to me if you do. I want to see it happen. I just don't want to do it. So finally, let's move on to what I've been working on since then that either has seen the light of day or will see the light of day at some point. First and foremost, I did a commissioned edit for Professor Bopper of his Project Ember streams. If you're a Fire Emblem fan and don't already watch The Good Professor, do yourself a favor and go check them out. I am a hireable editor if you have something that you want made. Message me on Twitter if you're interested in like a B+ YouTube edit man. I'm also cheap, but you probably already knew that from watching me. I said at the end of my Persona video that I was going to focus on more original content. How is that going? Well, if you're here for wacky gamer challenges with a Z, I'm sorry to tell you that that's not really my bag and it never will be. I might make a video if I finish level 99 on Yukiko, I might do some other challenge content, but if that's not where the passion is, that's not what I'm gonna make. Currently, I'm working on some content for something that I'm gonna try out called The Format. Goes like this. I'm gonna make a short video or 2 about things that I like, then I make a big and long video going over entries in a long-running series. For example, I'm currently working on a script for video about the first Fire Emblem game. It's currently very unfocused and rambly, but after edits and redrafts, it's probably still gonna end up being around an hour long. If you're down to listen to me bitch about Fire Emblem, stick around. I'll have something shorter and lighter after that's out. Then after that break, on to Gaiden, and eventually, barring the sudden failure of this meat prison I'm trapped in, the rest of the series. Anyway, I think I'm out of things to say now, so the video's over, bye!